Hello, everyone, and welcome to the back nine of round number 2 at the 2021 Rocky Mountain Women's Disc Golf Championships. We're at Valmont Park in Boulder, and we're watching the action with Darian Green along with Angelina Videtto. Also, Jenny Umstead, who we saw during round number 1, and Sandra Richardson. And Erikah Weir again joining me. And Erikah, lots of birdies to be had on this course. Some people have been taking advantage of that, but now we got this beautiful backdrop and ready to attack the back nine.
Absolutely, yeah. This hole is just about 300 feet. I think it's 292 feet. So as you saw, Sandra put a great shot out there. It is ripe for a high hyzer that'll fade back to the pin.
It's just really a stock hyzer, as they say, playing it out to the right, letting it fall back, and it looked like Darian really just had it too flat right out of her hand. She had the distance, but looked a little flat out of her hand.
Yeah. I found for me the most success I've had is exactly what you said. Put it out there, let it fade back. If you get it out towards the right of those last few trees, if you can get that nice skip off the hard ground, you'll find yourself well inside the circle for a birdie look. And a birdie at 300 feet feels great.
As I said, not only is it a little bit tougher to actually see the basket from the tee, but I really wanted the backdrop. You said that's the flat irons? Is that what that is in the back? Okay.
Those are the flat irons. Yep. So they're just about 20 minutes, give or take, from where we are across town in Boulder.
I'm going to learn me real good about some geography here today. I like it.
There you go.
Here's Jenny for a long look again, pin high, but
it like stuck to my hand.
She said it stuck to her hand. And
yeah, we started pretty early in the morning, so I was imagining, I wonder if any grip issues will change kind of as we heat up here. The back part of the course is definitely exposed. There's not that much shade. I really don't see anybody out there with an umbrella, so the other side of that coin is the fact that it does play really quickly. So, maybe people aren't out here with big carts and umbrellas and stuff like that, but it does warm up quickly.
Yeah, and a very comfortable day, and should I say an entire weekend out here for the event. And, nothing in terms of crazy winds that we've seen in the first 2 rounds.
That's right. The only bad part of the weather we had, I believe, was Friday at check-in when I was trying to do a clinic. So
of course.
We talked a lot about grip. We talked a lot about, how do you change X, Y, or Z. So we talked about good equipment to have as well. So that was, I'll take rain before a tournament any day.
Jenny in for the par. Darian, she's going to walk away with a par. And as we were saying, this is 292 feet. The very next hole, 297, very similar. And no problems.
There we go.
Angelina. Of course, big shout out to the event's presenting sponsor in Discmania.
Yeah, and this one just under 300. There used to be a tree in the middle of this fairway. Unfortunately, last year, the Parks Department declared it hazardous, so they took it down. So now it's a bit more of a straight shot, but it really does feel like it's up the gut. The tee pad's a little bit off as far as having it straight down the middle, so you've got that choice of forehand, backhand, whatever feels most comfortable, and you're trying to either straight up the gut in the middle or maybe that high hyzer out and around that tree.
Yeah, and a number of these holes somewhat zigzag. I don't want to use crisscross. They zigzag and run parallel to one another. So you're essentially throwing in a similar direction, but opposite of where the previous hole is. You see the basket there. So you're kind of just, it's a little bit of a back and forth motion for a number of these holes coming up.
Definitely. Yeah, you kind of go out and back on this section of the course. Great shot, Jenny.
And after Darian had clipped the tree, she's got a little work to do here with the forehand.
Yeah, and only a few of these holes have dual pin placements. I know the club at Boulder Disc Golf Club had put an investment in a couple years ago working with the city to get additional pin placements poured. So basically from where Darian was, there is a short placement, but we decided to keep the long one out here to provide a little bit more distance. before we head into what we affectionately call Birdie Boulevard from holes 12 through hole 16. So this is the last long one we'll see for a little bit.
Well, there's a long one. Great putt
That's-
by Sandra.
That's it. Way to go. She must be hitting the basket in her backyard. I love it.
Making it look easy.
That is one thing. Sandra and I have been playing disc golf together maybe 6 or 7 years now. She brings such a great, relaxed attitude. Even though she isn't very competitive, she always has a smile on her face. She's always cracking a joke. And many times she just steps up and cans putts like that left and right. She makes it look like it's so casual, so easy. So it's good to see her out there.
Sometimes something to be said about not overthinking your putt or your next shot at hand. And Darian here has a little work to do to save her par.
Yeah, I could take a page out of that book myself.
Hands
Oh,
it.
great shot. Wow, excellent putt. There we go. No high or low there. That was dead center chains. Great shot, Darian.
And we're going to move over, like you said, moving into some shorter holes, 222 feet for hole number 12.
Yeah, and this one, let's see as Sandra throws. You can sort of see the the number plate there. That's what she's aiming for. So whatever feels best for our players, whether it's out wide to the right-hand side, up the middle, or even if you wanted to take a forehand approach. This landing can be pretty tricky. It is hard pan dirt, so especially with that berm that we see just beyond, that's where the basket is beyond. So it can be a little bit tricky.
Yeah, I feel as if this one's a little deceiving because you see the basket. It's actually downhill, down a little bit of that berm you just mentioned. So that's something that to the naked eye, when you're standing on the tee for the first time, you're not necessarily accounting for.
Definitely. I've seen successful shots from just about any angle. What Angelina just did there as far as playing it to almost that hill to let it filter down towards the pin, nice and gently. Hopefully she'll have a pretty good putt within the circle.
Short, but on line for Jenny. That'll be a tap-in par. Here's Angelina for birdie. And with what I've seen from her putting stroke, I'll admit that wildly surprised me. I've only known her for about 11 holes now, but that surprised me because I've seen her so proficient with her putter.
Definitely. I think sometimes as a person that's played this course quite a bit, this green can be challenging. Like, you've got the berm in the back, the fence, there's a walking path, so there could have been people coming and going behind her. But like you said, normally her misses are, I believe her miss is low. She has such a straight on approach to the pin when she's putting. I get it. It happens, but I'm with you in the sense that did look a little bit different than we're used to seeing from her. There she goes. Cleans it up.
And Sandra finally getting to hers. This is her drive, so she's looking at picking up another birdie.
That's got to feel good. There we go.
And that is her third in a row. She got them on 10, 11, and 12.
Yeah, when you're the first to drive and one of the last to putt, that's a great feeling.
That was a saying on shirts back in the 90s. Drive first, putt last. Of course, big shout out to Fly Green, along with who we saw just before that, Ben and Fairly Creative. Thank you guys so much for the support of the event and everything you do for disc golf. As we see Sandra trying to pick up her fourth birdie in a row.
Yeah, and off to the right-hand side of the players, in the beginning of your video, Terry, I think you did a great job of panning it, but that is one of our local caretakers of the course. Everybody knows him as Ash, and he volunteered to come out early, set up a tent. He had water out there and a variety of awesome snacks for our players. So big shout out to Ash for always leading the charge in Boulder, keeping Valmont a great place to be, adding a little bit of color to the course. But he definitely let me know how proud and how excited he was to have Valmont showcase today. So great to see him out there supporting the women's game.
He had like Danishes and donuts. I mean, come on, you had me at that. I mean, there was also some pineapple and lots of berries and all sorts of things.
Yeah, it was
incredible.
a great variety for sure. So I think a lot of folks were kind of happy. I believe we had a shotgun start, so we kind of started at a variety of holes. But as these ladies are coming through on hole 13, it's a great place to get a little bit of a pick-me-up as we see Angelina running in a great birdie.
And speaking of pick-me-ups, that is a long-range birdie from out in Circle 2. Darian trying to pick up a birdie here.
Oh, that's a tough break.
Yeah, and a really unfavorable kick or bounce, as she had pointed out.
Oh.
The turkey was enough for her apparently at that point.
That's right. She's just gonna take her par and head on over to the next one. It is that's one thing I will say as a person that plays this course quite often. If you have a variety of holes that are under 300 feet, you feel like you should be getting birdies on every single hole. But I will say I get to hole 13 and I've been down in the ditch. I've been past it. I've been where Sandra is. This is a little bit tough because from where she was, the basket is a bit elevated. So you did see a low miss from her. And that's a mistake that anybody can make. So hopefully she'll just shake that off and continue to hole 14, pick her birdie streak up where she left it. Oh no. This basket is very unkind to Darian.
Oh my goodness. That actually went behind her as if the kick off the pin or the basket wasn't bad enough on her birdie attempt. Now on her par attempt, it's actually gone behind her. Oh, this is heartbreaking.
Oh, cans it.
Okay, I guess that might be one of the least satisfying bogeys you could take after. I mean, of course, it's a great make, but man, how punishing.
Yeah, those were some very unlucky kicks she had back to back there. So kudos to her for stepping up, trusting her routine, and basically making the longest of her 3 putts that she had to make. So I don't. Maybe she wants to pad stats. No, nobody wants that. I feel for her. That's a tough break, but good for her.
All right, we move over to hole number 14. Again, another one of the shorter ones, 192 feet, slightly downhill. Pretty similar to back on 12?
It is pretty similar. You said shorter, and it could be even shorter. Where we just saw Angelina throw, there was a little bit of a bush on the top of the berm. There's a shorter pin placement up there. So right underneath where Sandra just threw. But yeah, very similar to 12 in that sense. Kind of opens up a little bit more. 12's green is a little bit guarded with the trees. This one, if you're up the middle, you probably have a good opportunity for an in the circle putt depending on where you land off the hill.
Darian hanging it wide, playing overstable, back to the pin. That should put her on the dance floor. And Sandra's ready to go. I barely got the camera running, and she stepped up for yet another birdie.
That's what I said. She was going to pick it right up. I've never even seen this footage, so kudos to her for making my prediction come true. Well done, Sandra.
That's her 4th birdie in the last 5 holes.
Yeah, Sandra and I had the opportunity to play a practice round out here, so we'll give me a pat on the back for good coaching and prep.
I'll take it as Jenny picks up a birdie as well. It is her 6th birdie of the round.
And it's awesome to see like a touring pro like Jenny come into town. With the way that the national tour schedule has become, with DGPT just being such a great force in our disc golf community, along with the PDGA national tours. Unfortunately, we couldn't get any other people to come out here because I believe everybody was heading up to the Northeast for the next swing. But seeing so many women out here playing Valmont, it makes me feel, it warms my heart. We have a wonderful women's league that comes together on Monday nights. And a lot of them were out here practicing for that tournament as well. And they're involved. So it's just a great day, great celebration of women's disc golf.
Well, that's a huge testament as Darian picks up another birdie. Great bounce back after the bogey. And, everything. I mean, I've been so blessed and honored to be at the last 4 Rocky Mountain Women's now. And I tell everybody, there is no event on the planet that I feel like caters to and spoils the women better than this specific event. As I see 2 good friends there, Dave from Night Eyes and Jeff Hungerford, again, 2 of my favorites out of Colorado. But this is an event you absolutely must get to.
Definitely. And, I think I believe it was Doug Bjerkes and Ray Woodruff that began this journey. They wanted to put on a women's event so they could showcase the talent in Colorado as well as some of our really great courses. So, it's just great to see the torch being carried on. And I feel very lucky to be a part of it in regards to, being an assistant TD. Nice shot, Jenny.
I opted to stay at the catch position, so this kind of runs parallel to the previous hole. Again, a lot of that back and forth that we see for a number of these holes.
Yeah, I think the catch position on this one makes a lot of great sense. It's a little crowded at the tee box, so I feel for you this would be a much better angle, and it's nice to see the women taking advantage of another open, shorter hole, trying to put themselves inside the circle for a birdie opportunity.
That's tracking right to the pin and a little bit deep, but another birdie look.
Looks like they got it surrounded.
They certainly do. Sandra for birdie. Oh, and you hear her saying you got to get it up. It's a little bit low.
I wasn't sure if that was an appropriate statement to make, but I know that Sandra, that's one thing she will always say if she misses low. You got to get it up to get it in the basket.
Darian trying to.
Great shot, Darian. Good for her. 2 strong birdies back to back after that rough hole, number 13.
Just about the same distance here for Angelina.
You can see a pin there between her ponytail and the tree, but off the top.
A good firm bid. She certainly gave it a chance, but a little too much power.
Yeah. I think this one and hole number 13 are pretty similar in the makeup. This one you're throwing a little bit more uphill, so the pin, depending on where you land, can be a little bit elevated. And I think we all know all it takes is an inch or two to be off your mark. So
Jenny picks up another good birdie.
Straight. Great shot.
See the par by Sandra and also the par by Angelina, and they're going to move over to hole 16 to kind of close out this section of the course as I pan over for the beautiful view. And hole 16, 241 feet. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah. We talked earlier, this is a park course, so the park boundaries are in play. That's the only out of bounds you're worried about. So if you're going for that hyzer, you just want to make sure that you don't turn it over. The fencing that's there to actually help us with our prairie dog problem is out of bounds if you happen to go over to that side. But you've got, if you want to tackle it forehand, backhand, hyzer, you can choose your destiny.
Now you skip.
Darian gets the skip as she proclaims, but certainly still in makeable range.
Definitely. And there goes our hyzer queen.
Yeah.
Good shot. Yeah, I'm sure that's a little bit further out than she wanted to, but a hyzer's a really popular approach on this hole.
Yeah, it looks like there's plenty of room to do so, but you could tell maybe a little tentative, thinking, hey, just just don't put it over the fence. Like you said, that's the one mistake you can't make here.
Definitely. And sometimes I think it's challenging, right? You know, you can see other players in the background, but do you have a great depth perception on this one when you don't have a ton of landscape to work with? You know, it's like I can see where it's challenging, and I've experienced it myself, so I get it.
Almost so wide open, and that's just off the front of the cage for Angelina. She'll have to settle for the par. Sandra from circle 2. And not able to connect. And Jenny a little bit short as well.
Yeah. Again, with these wide open holes, you know, you're just thinking like, oh, I can do this. Like, this is easy. And then maybe it's a little bit out of your comfort range. You know, maybe your thing's a little off. It can make it very challenging. But Darian put herself in a good position.
Yeah, this one comes in at about 241 feet. So she's certainly right there, almost pin high. Just like that, 3
Well
birdies
done.
in a row.
That's right. Coming
Picking
back
up.
strong.
Yeah, Alex.
She's on a mission.
She certainly is, and she's going to grab a stroke from everyone on the card here on hole number 16.
And she'll grab the box for 17, so atta girl.
Yeah, that is 4 birdies in the last 5 holes. We saw the 1 bogey as well. So she had a slow start, but then really putting things together in these last few holes. And we move over to hole 17, a 225-footer. And this is the green section of the course?
That's right. All 2 holes of it. Yeah, this is the part of the park where they definitely maintain this grass. So it's a great place to come out and do some field work. You do have a beautiful view of the Flatirons behind you. We've got some people that are out here playing soccer, ultimate, throwing the Frisbee for their dogs, flying planes, all sorts of good stuff. But yeah, there's these 2 disc golf holes. And then sometimes if nobody's around, you can play from hole 17 to the pin of 18. So that makes it kind of a variety shot as well. We see Jenny with a forehand shot there.
Caught up. It looks like she'll probably be in circle 2 still.
Yeah, this hole it can be pretty challenging. I mean, we can see a variety of lanes that the players get to choose from as far as, you know, trying to execute. Great shot, Sandra. But the trees themselves or even their branches up high, you know, you can hit the trunk, you can hit the branches, and then you're going to be a little bit outside the circle for sure, looking at a longer birdie putt.
And that gets knocked down about 2/3 of the way there. She still has a long look at birdie.
Yeah, we've seen Angelina hit these earlier in the day. I feel for 17's a nemesis basket of mine. It does not like to give up birdies. So,
Well, Darian's riding the birdie train. She's got 3 in a row, 4 out of the last 5. Yeah, she wasn't shy, wasn't short.
no, not at all. You definitely have to give it the right amount of power for sure.
She says again, because she knows that she is online. I think we could, I mean, she's shooting lights out, but I still feel like we could add up 3 or 4 more that were just
Definitely.
inches short.
Yeah, I mean, it's so frustrating because, you know, she's right there. She just needs to be an inch or 2 higher. And like, we've seen her hit him earlier. You know she's capable. She knows she's capable. And it's just like, you're trying to just close out the round, and that makes it very tough.
That was Jenny's 8th birdie of the round.
It's such a great round. Yeah, like I had said a couple holes ago, you know, we have a women's league. Big shout out to Ali Dorado for putting all that together. She's been running it for the past couple years. She does such a good job of including everybody in the sport. We've seen scores, you know, let's say beginners that come out that are shooting well over par. They're shedding scores towards the end of the year, which is great. I think I want to say the best we've seen is -14 in our women's league. So it's doable.
Wow.
I can't believe we made it already.
Everybody's excited. They said we're already here, and caddies galore. That's one of the, again, the many unique features of this event. is that there's a caddy for every single competitor that wants one, and they pay to actually come out and have that privilege and honor, and it's absolutely incredible.
That's right. I saw Scott Taylor. He's out there caddying for Sandra, and Rick is Angelina's partner. He's out there too. So thanks again to the caddies for doing the heavy lifting for us this weekend.
And hole 18 comes in at 220 feet. Pretty straightforward shot. Unfortunately, I mean, I like the Heiser route to get there, but she just took too much off. She'll have an open putt, but it's short.
Yeah. And you definitely, if it's possible for that Heiser, you do want to put it out wide as much as you can. Sometimes that bench off to the right-hand side is a good aiming place. If you can get it out there, swing it out and have it crash back to the left, you'll find yourself in a good position for a birdie. But all too often, again, this is another one of those wide open holes, unassuming, and, oh, I'll get it right in the circle, and we find ourselves off to the left-hand side.
Yeah, all 4 competitors left of the pin, and it's almost crazy to see so much area to the right, all the room in the world, and everyone push themselves over here to the left with a little work to do.
Yeah.
Draw some chain, but not quite enough for Darian.
Oh, there we go. We've got some Ultimate Frisbee players in the background as Angelina lines up her putt.
If this doesn't say Colorado, I don't know what does. She's lining up the putt, ultimate, flat iron, it's got it all.
It's pretty Colorado, that's for sure. The only thing we need in Boulder is a bag of crunchy granola out there. It's the only thing you didn't catch on the camera.
And Sandra just off the mark. So some struggles here to close out. Lots of opportunities for birdie. Jenny's our last hope.
That's a beautiful shot. Let's get it. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
We were pulling for her in the booth, too. Dang it.
Everybody in disbelief, but I want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in. Leave a comment, whatever comment you want. Tell me what mountains you've climbed maybe, or what ones you want to climb. That will make you eligible. I'm doing giveaways for every one of the rounds, so leave a comment. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, do all the YouTube things. And wow, we're down with 2 rounds. We're going to be heading back to Purple Park for the 3rd round. Erikah, it's been a heck of an event so far, and it looks like things have tightened up considerably. So we're looking forward to closing this thing out on Championship Sunday.
That's right.
Beautiful. Flat irons in the background, as we said. Here's the current score. We have all of the action unfolding, and your leaders right now, Liz and Sandra, as they'll be heading in. Jenny will rejoin the card, and Christina Gold will add on to it. We'll see you guys for the final round.